Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Szilvia Stone joining us here live now on the show. She's a Reiki therapist at Sophie's Healing Haven, based out of Katy, Texas. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Jill. It's a great opportunity.
Well, thank
How
you
are you?
so much. I'm doing well. So for new listeners out there, tell us a little bit about what you do as a Reiki therapist, what that means.
So Reiki is energy healing modality, basically. And I also do sound healing with crystal balls. So Reiki is used for many things. I don't know if you know what Reiki means. It means universal life force. So everyone has it. You have it. Everybody have it in them. And when you come to a Reiki therapist, what happens usually that if you have blocked energies, then with the therapy, I will open those up and then help you with the better energy flow. So then you just feel in general, everything is going better and your health can improve as well.
Great. Well, let's talk a little bit about yourself. Tell me about where you're from, what brought you into this. Tell us a little bit about, your background. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm originally from Hungary. So I'm a Hungarian, and I lived all around the world a little bit. I lived in Switzerland, France, and over 10 years in England. That's where I met my husband. So I have a British husband for 13 years now. And we came to the US 12 years ago, and all the adventures began, of course. So I didn't know about Reiki really until about 8 years ago. And so that's when I started to learn more about it. And the main reason was, it's a little bit of a sad story, but I lost a beautiful baby girl due to birth complications 8 years ago, Sophie, and that's where the name came from. So I, honoring her name, I named my business after her. And basically, that's what drawn me to Reiki. I needed to deal with my grief. And I'm sure many people looking for different solutions when they deal with grief or depression or anything else. So that was the solution for me. And having a treatment, I asked the lady, can I do this myself? So I did a course, and that's where it all began.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing that and your experience, and sorry what you went through. And it looks like actually the station did just text me, so I'm going to have your sheet in front of me, so we'll be able to ask you all the specific questions that you do want to talk about today. Thank you so much. So we started off obviously by getting to know you, and just to confirm, how do we find you? Could you share on Google and your Instagram page?
Absolutely. So Google, if anyone just types in Sophie's Healing Haven, then it should bring up information about the business. It should bring up service prices and location and everything else. And I have an Instagram and a Facebook page where I post some little videos or daily quotes. And that is super simple. Sophie's Healing Haven again.
Beautiful. So you have 2 kids. How old are they?
So they are 7 and 10, and I'm also an autism mom. My 10 years old son is on the spectrum, but I'm happy to say it is amazing to see his development because he's healing beautifully. So everything is possible. Just a message to all those moms and dads out there who are dealing with it. Everything is possible. Just have the faith that your kid can heal and they can improve absolutely miraculously.
All right. And you also are a co-author, I was reading. What is that about? Mom Magic, Moms for Change. What's that?
So here we go. This is the book.
Oh
Mom
my
Magic.
gosh.
So I'm quite into manifestations as well, and I'm working on those skills. And so on my list, it was, I would like to become an author. And it just came totally out of the blue. An acquaintance said, would you be interested to be a co-author in a book? I said, of course I would. And so what was actually a bit challenging is we had only 1,500 words for our chapter. And how do you cram in there, whatever you want to say? But I think I managed to crack it. And the title of my chapter is Becoming My Life Purpose. And this is exactly the little story about Sophie, about my son's autism, my daughter not sleeping for 4 years. And all moms can overcome anything if you set your minds to it. You are much more stronger than you think. So that's the message through this book.
Oh my goodness. And where can we find it?
So you can find it on Amazon. Mom Magic, and then and you can buy either an ebook or basically the hard copy. It's a soft cover copy.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's also talk more now about the services you're offering. Again, it's a holistic healing company. So you mentioned you used to work at home. Would you mind sharing a little bit about Usui Reiki and all that as well that I'm reading here?
Okay, so I used to work from home for about until 2 years ago. And now we are renting a space together with my friend. And what are my services is Reiki energy healing. When you lay on like a treatment table, like if you would have a massage fully clothed, I usually ask for jewelries off, because I don't know if you know, but all metal and crystals can absorb energies. So that's why you need to take them off to not be influenced by those. So you have Reiki. I also offer mixed Reiki and sound healing therapy, which is part of the treatment is first Reiki, and then I use tuning forks, crystal singing pyramid, crystal singing bowls, and it is very, very powerful. Vibrations are super powerful. And what is also really good, and not many people talk about, but Reiki therapists use them, is long distance therapy or long distance treatments. And that is basically you have a surrogate like a teddy bear, and then the client is not present, but you can still feel the same benefits of it. I tried it with my friend in Alabama, and she said she felt the hands over her, so that was awesome. There is one more thing is which intention setting. So what I do then is for 3 days, I write down on a piece of paper your name, the intention, what you would like to achieve. It could be, let's say you would like to apply for a job, or you want to have healing, anything really you wish. And then I send Reiki to that intention. It needs to be very specific. And then for 3 days, I set these intentions. And after then, every day, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes Reiki to it. And it is very powerful. And basically, it's a constant stream of Reiki. So that is another thing I do.
Tell me what things could be helped with Reiki.
So I have a client who now lives in Germany. So I do send long distance Reiki for him. And once he asked me, he was in person back here before they moved to Germany, that he applied for a job and he would like to get an answer. So for 3 months, he didn't hear anything. And I said, okay, let's do it. So I set an intention for him. It was a Sunday afternoon. And then Thursday night, Friday morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, he had a phone call. So basically 4 days after the treatment. And they said, okay, you got the job. So it's simple as that. You can use Reiki to start up your flat car battery. I did it several times, or fixing a Keurig coffee machine. I endless possibilities. And that's why, I think it's easy if someone does a Reiki level 1 and 2 course, because then you can use it for yourself. You can use it for your family, to put a bit of life in your plant if it looks a bit sad. I mean, it's really just a limit of your imagination.
Yeah, my goodness. And for chronic pain, I heard that Reiki is really good for those suffering with, right now I have a heating pad on. I have like a carpal tunnel arthritis, tendonitis in my arm, right? And I'm trying to, doctors, the physical therapy, it's been like 2.5 months and it's not getting better. They want to do surgery. But I heard the chronic pain could be helped by Reiki. Could you share a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So just as an example, obviously, I'm the only one adventuring away from my country, from my family. And my brother is suffering from herniated discs in his spine. And so I started to send him Reiki through the piece of paper I just mentioned. And after 2 weeks, his pain gone, basically. So it just needs to be very, very intentional. And also what I also suggest is, I don't know if you heard about Louise Hay. Louise Hay has a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And she has really amazing chapters about how you love yourself. And sometimes it's just simply down to self-love as well. How do you treat yourself? Do you really just give out yourself to others rather than spend the me time? Because it makes a big difference as well. So I can send you long distance Reiki, but also you can start your self-healing as well, because the power of your mind is amazing too. And because Reiki is energy, so is prayers. So when more people pray together, it is super, super powerful. I experienced it myself. So you can try many, many things definitely for your healing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Wow. Okay. Well, let me also see here, looking down, just having some internet issues to find your notes. There we go. Fear and confidence. You say those are some of the big ones that you've gotten over yourself in life. Reading a little bit about things that may inspire others, but can fear and confidence be helped as well with Reiki?
I think so. I think so. But also, I think number one is your mindset, because if you are not open to Reiki or changes in general in your life, then you're stuck. So as soon as you are so desperate, because people get to that stage when, okay, what do I do from here now? You know, I cannot go any further down. And that's when you start to open up to possibilities. And that's when Reiki come in, or some people turn to yoga, some people turn to meditation, going out to nature. There are loads of ways of healing. So when someone comes to me, I say, Reiki might not be your solution to heal, because there are so many different ways. I know somebody who healed themselves from depression with use of essential oils, somebody with yoga. But I do list all the possibilities I recommend to everybody to try. So when you come to me, you try Reiki. If it works for you, then yippee. And I still recommend you to use affirmations, go out to nature, use crystals. There are so many different ways you can help your health and also your mental state as well.
Got it. Now, as a child, tell me a little bit about you growing up. And you mentioned, yeah, tell me what you wanted to be, what you wanted to do.
So the funny thing is, I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. My mom was only 17 when I was born, and she went through 2 divorces I experienced. So the only thing I got out of that is that I want a better life. And I always was striving, I would like to go to college. So I was the first person in the family to go to college. And I was very curious about life in general. So I traveled, around the world a little bit. I went to Egypt. I lived in Switzerland and many other places I just mentioned. And at the time, I thought I would like to be like a engineer. I wanted to be like an architect. And then as you grow, your thoughts are changing. And then going to be an au pair in England and France and many other places, it's just opened up my eye. When you live in a different country, you get exposure to different cultures and views of life. And I think in general, that will broaden your views and maybe even what you would like to be. So Reiki came to me basically in the past 8 years, and I'm 47. So you can imagine it's not quite what I dreamt of childhood, but this is where life took me.
Yeah, I'm 45, working on it. Yeah, it happens. I got a 6 and 8-year-old myself, so I understand what it's like to be in the thick of things for sure. And when you were little, did you mentor anyone?
So I do mentor like young children around me, mainly to keep them positive self-talk, because I just realized that loads of kids are so looking down on themselves. They think they're not good enough. They have limitations. That's what I found with many kids. And so I just try to tell them everything is possible. Everything is possible if you set your mind to it. And actually, my 7 years old, because now she just turned 7, and my 10 years old, what we did, I recorded their affirmations, and we play them every bedtime and every morning. We'll try to do every morning when they get up, to get the message through that they are absolutely capable of everything, and they are amazing at whatever they do, and they are loved. I think the biggest message is kids need to feel loved and needed.
So true. It really is. And we try to do that as parents, right?
Oh, yes.
And let's talk a little bit about your start. There's a lot more here, notes on your start of getting involved. But at this time, it's also important to remind our listeners how we can reach you. So let's share the phone number again, website, social media pages, and then we'll continue. Okay.
Okay, so my telephone number is 832-454-7952, and I make appointments only by call only because I need to make sure there is no double booking or anything else. And also because my website is still in the making, I made a mistake. I chose the wrong company to do my website and basically we stuck. So now I reached out to someone else and hopefully we can get a good one soon. But if you look up Sophie's Healing Haven on Google, then you can find some information, and also check out some videos on Instagram. Again, Sophie's Healing Haven, you can find there. And then hopefully you find some videos which are relevant to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Also, let's talk more now about the work in the Reiki. You mentioned Sophie's Healing Haven. Could you just share the story again about how that happened?
Okay, so 8 years ago, my son was only 17 months old, and I was so looking forward to have my little Sophie because I really badly wanted her. And I had a bad feeling on the day of when I was induced that I shouldn't give birth that day for some reason. So we went in and some problems came up. Her heart was playing up and whatsoever. And we ended up, she had hypoxia, which I don't know if the listeners know what is hypoxia, when a child is without oxygen for an extended period of time. So basically you have a very severe brain damage. And frankly, when I came out of the sedation, because they had to put me to sleep, you know, you don't comprehend what they are saying to you. And I did pray. I said, dear God, you know, give me a healthy baby, perform a miracle or no baby. And guess what? I ended up with a no baby, and I perfectly accepted it. And it was very challenging because obviously you had a 17-month-old at home waiting for you. And then I prayed, I said, dear God, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm 38. Give me a healthy little girl before I turn 40. And that was the following year. And guess what? My second daughter, Emma, was born beautifully healthy and super smart 20 days before my 40th birthday.
Wow.
And so how Reiki came along is that just a few weeks after she was born, we found out my son had severe autism. He didn't speak until 4.5. So I tell you, that was quite a challenge to deal with. And the grief, of course, loss of my daughter just the year before. And then Emma stopped sleeping through the nights at 10 months of age because I started to give the Danone baby yogurts. And of course, mommy didn't know that she had cow milk allergies. So that's where Reiki basically kept me alive for 4 years. It was really tough. And this is the story I wrote in Mom Magic, that whatever life throws at you, you can get through.
Oh my gosh.
And then I started, as soon as Emma started to sleep through the nights, I started self-development courses, Bob Proctor through Diamond Academy. I tried, what was it? Many other things. And basically, at some point, it came to me intuitively that, okay, I need to start up my business. And so many friends asked me to do Reiki treatments for them. So that's when it started out. I went to their house, so they came to my house. They recommended me for friends. And then came the fear and the thing, start up the business.
Yeah.
You know, and then I went to a corporate office building. So that wasn't an ideal place, but I shared the room with my friend Sharon. And she has her own Reiki company, and we still share. And I remember at the beginning, they were the ideas of like a fear of competition because she's doing the same thing. And then, you know, when you grow spiritually, then you realize there is no competition. There is collaboration. But whoever meant to come to you will come to you. So that's what I got out of it.
Oh, well, I would also love to find out some examples of the people you've helped, some more examples of how Reiki can help. And you mentioned you can send Reiki to people virtually, which some people say, how does it work distance-wise compared to in person? Could you share that?
Absolutely. So we did a treatment for one of my friends in Florida. So what she did, not Florida, sorry, Alabama. So she laid down on her sofa. We had a Zoom call, not Zoom call, actually a Facebook chat. So we were live. And then I had a teddy bear on the treatment table hearing Katie. And then I set the crystals on the teddy bear. And then I started the treatment. And she said she felt the warmth at her heart and she felt the hand positions. Now, not everyone is feeling the actual heat, but 99% whoever came to me does, mainly in person. Long distance, I usually do the paper version. So that's the other thing. So either I do it through a teddy bear, and then the person is at home. It's exactly the same procedure like if you are in person, it's just you are not present. And then the other one is, oh no, sorry, it's a cuckoo clock.
Ah, that's okay. You really have one?
Yes.
I
My
love
son loves
it.
cuckoo clocks.
How many do you have?
So, oh dear, I hope it's not too many cuckooing. Okay, that's a good one. So, so going back to the long distance Reiki, can you hear me fine from this cuckoo music?
Yes.
So the piece of paper is basically, on the piece of paper, I write down for the highest good of, and I write the name with the highest intention of, and I usually write about 3 sub questions or requests, and one of them is always to give them ultimate and complete protection on all level, because of course we are not only the physical, are we? It's the spiritual and emotional body as well. So I said that, and then also what else you want to do. So I do Reiki regularly for my son as well, to help with his communication, you know, the school to go well, and all those things. So how it works is I charge $99 for the intention settings if it's through the paper. That is 3 days.
Okay.
And then I write down these intentions. They have to be very specific. And then after that is $6 a day. And then until you feel that you got accomplished what you wanted to get out of it, either if it's healing or you achieved your goal. And we did that with quite a few people. So I had, as I mentioned, my brother with his herniated discs. I had people headaches. So if you have migraine, actually, I know a really good meditation, which takes only 5 to 7 minutes. If you learn it, you never ever need to take any medication after that. It's really awesome. It's a visualization. You do that, and then your migraine is just gone like this. It's really awesome.
Well, I also want to ask you, for someone who does all these types of healings, you know, you mentioned you can help people, but is it true you can Reiki bless your food?
Food?
Food, water? Yeah, I heard you can give Reiki to it.
Okay, so you know what, my kids think I'm total nuts. Every morning I have a glass of water, but try to use it in a glass, not a plastic, a glass. You hold your hand on it and you can do this. And then, so what I say, I'm just saying exactly what I usually say, okay? So, love, 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 unconditional love. This is the message I'm sending to Eddie for the highest goods of Edward Andreas Stone, that's my son, with the highest intention of to wake up the divine intelligence in every cell in his body for self-love, self-healing, joy, happiness, ultimate well-being, success, prosperity, and also to flush out any negative emotions, any negative self-beliefs, any worries, any doubts, and any trauma from his emotional, eternal, and physical body on the cellular level. Replace it with the unconditional love, healing, and support of the universe. Love, 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 unconditional love. This I say every single morning for both of my kids' glass of water, and also the cups I'm sending to school. And I don't know if you heard about Dr. Amato, who did experiments with water. If you talk to the water negative things, then the crystal structure of the water is deforming and it's got quite amorph. But if you talk nice things to the water and you freeze it afterwards and you look at the crystallization, they are absolutely beautiful. And if you think our body is 60% of water, more than 60% of water, that's why if somebody lives in a very verbally abusive environment, you start to get sick because your body basically cannot take this negative energy. And this is why it's so important to be kind and loving and using positive words. For self-talk is very, very important as well. Absolutely.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for being here. Would you mind sharing how we could reach you? And pleasure speaking with you today.
And you, Jill. And again, once more, you can look at Sophie's Healing Haven on Google, in the Katy, Texas area, of course, because you guys in New York. And you can look up on Facebook and Instagram again, Sophie's Healing Haven, or give me a call on 832-454-7952. And if you look up basically on Google, you can see my name is Szilvia, just as here on this call. So if you put Szilvia@sophieshealinghaven.com, then that's an email address for me, so you can write to me as well, or just send me a text message. And if you would like to know anything more, tips, healing tips and other things, I'm very open to answer them. So
Perfect.
Reach out. Thank you.
Aw, thank you so much. Looking forward to the next time we connect. Okay. You have a fantastic day and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank
And to all of
you.
our listeners, stay tuned. More of the show is on the way.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.